No, it's insane. It's like you got the old conservative side with Jerusalem, and then you got like the modern gay Tel Aviv, which is just like insane, you know? So I love both aspects. I love the conservative aspect because like in some of my ways, I'm a little bit like a traditional Jew, but then like that modern Tel Aviv vibe is like everything you want. And it's just the heat and the beaches and the music and the hookah, like so much hookah. And it's amazing.
Hookah, like the tall smoking apparatus?
Yeah, the shisha, yeah.
All right. I don't know all the verbiage, but I remember that word. So I was like, how about make sure it wasn't an accent barrier, that regional dialect.
No, yeah.
Okay, nailed it. I'm fluent. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
But okay, so you did mention, the birthright. They've given you a little green light or a little bit of to kind of stretch that out because you're about to start grad school. But before that, you're about to wrap up school and the first pandemic since the fucking 40s. And so I want to kind of get a vibe of not only what was college life in Boulder, because I want to live vicariously through the party scene up there. I used to live up there and it just looks like fucking fun. But I also want to know, what was school like closing out your college tenure in, locked in a quarantine? What was it like?
So, I mean, freshman year was obviously crazy. My GPA tanked, and it was not okay to do this. And it was a fun time. I loved it so much. And then around sophomore year, I stopped going to the frat parties. I stopped partying. I kind of waited until I was 21 just to hang out with my friends and go to bars. I had an unfortunate story where I got roofied at a frat party freshman year. And that was a really scary wake-up call for me. Thank God my friends were there that pretty much saved me from this very unwanted, awful situation that could have happened. And the guy's obviously a total dickhead, but it was a very scary situation. That kind of gave me a wake-up call. So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be careful. I really don't need this. And I kind of mellowed out. After freshman year, mellowed out. Waited till I was 21. And then once I got my apartment and I was 21, that was the life of the party. That was dinner parties and bottles of wine. And it was just so much fun. So for the past 3 years, I've been doing that. And then I would say...
what happened in the last 3 months? In February, you were probably jolly as shit, 2 more months, 3 more months, whatever it may have been. And then they're motherfucker, y'all about to do everything online?
Yeah, so the past 3 months have just been, they've just been crazy. I remember this one time, again, with me and my best friend, we were sitting, eating pad thai, watching Sex in the City, drinking rosé, and then in a flash, it's we are moving remotely, online, online classes. And it's such hysteria, and it was so scary. I lived in apartments from the university, so they were threatening to kick people out, except for international students. So it was such a scary time, and it's a destroyed senior year. And
how are you going to celebrate tonight, as we say, since it's Wednesday night, as our listeners are tuning in? What's the celebration? Yeah. What do y'all have a celebration? Y'all going to cook at the house? Do you walk virtually? How does that work?
So there's going to be virtual graduations. I'm attending 4 ceremonies because I'm getting 3 degrees, and then
fuck, you may be. No offense to our buddy Bryant, and we have another genius, Nicolas Firex, but you may be one of the smartest gentlemen we've had on this podcast.
No.
Degrees?
Just a hard worker. No, not a smart gentleman, but
an overachiever.
Kind of, yeah. I think it's the Soviet mentality that's been drained in me.
They've instilled some solid principles there.
They really have. So,
what are the 3 degrees? Congrats, by the way. That's very impressive.
I think my parents are planning an at-home graduation or whatever. So I have no clue. I'm not allowed to know. But it definitely hasn't been easy. I got my cap and gown and I cried. and I didn't really want to take pictures. I didn't want to do anything. And then my other best friend, she called me up and she was like, I want to do this as a gift to you. Like, let's get dressed up, put on your cap and gown. She's the photographer. So she's like, I'll take pictures of you. Let's just make this seem as normal as possible. So I'm really grateful for that. And I get it. Like I'm all for the people for the high school graduations. I'm all for the senior proms. It's such a difficult time. And I'm here for you guys. I really am, because I understand it too. But trust me, there's going to be so many more graduations for you and parties for you. Like, it's going to be okay.
You included. Jesus, you're probably going to have like 7 more. I don't know if you have a graduation for like residency, med school, and then all of them, but I believe you'll have some more as well. So keep your chin up in regards to that also.
Thank you.
Is there a celebration? Like, I don't know, like when I graduated high school, I got a car. When I graduated college, my dad was like, I'll help you, getting out of college and I was coming out during the recession. So my dad was like, we'll just help you get on your feet and things of that nature. Is there like a traditional gift that you'll get? Like, will you get something neat, or is there a certain meal that's going to be prepared, like your favorite dish that's a homemade dish? What do you have in store in that regard? Anything cool?
I'm actually getting a car as my graduation present.
Nice.
Yeah, just because like mine has been through hell and back. So it's a 2003 Honda CRV that has like everything.
17 years is a good one there, bro.
Yeah.
Was that your first car and you just rode it obviously until now, or the wheels fell off?
Yeah, it was my very first car. We got it from like my cousin's Russian dealership. It was very sketchy.
That's
but awesome. It was like my
I love sketchy. Organized crime. I'm team organized crime.
Yeah. And so it was my first car, and then I'm getting my like first official car when I graduate. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. So I guess you'll have a little while, but are you going to stay here in Colorado for like, or would you like to go try out another foodie city, like try UCLA or fucking Northwestern or Boston University, NYU? Like what's on, where's Mile High? Mile High Bites could be just you eating anywhere, technically, just get high.
So I work in LA right now. Like in the summers, I work in LA. So I've been doing kind of like LA blogging and Denver blogging, but I love Denver so much. Like, it's such a home to me, and it's such an amazing atmosphere that even if I do end up leaving, maybe like to LA or New York or somewhere, like I always want to come back.
Yeah.
This is my home. These are my roots. And I think this is the perfect place to start a family and grow into yourself. And I could see myself leaving for sure. And I can see taking Mile High Bikes to LA because, like I said, I work there now and I always post there as well. But
dude,
I want to come
over there. Between that and New York, those are like foodie meccas. And I mean,
yeah.
You'd be happier than a pig in the mud.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, dude, we would be doing ourselves 2 disservices. First off, give a shout out to your best friend that's the photographer. For anyone that's listening that may be having kids going through graduation or about to go to college, or if you yourself are about to graduate high school or college and are in the Colorado area, how can they reach you?
Sweet. So her name's Adina. She runs the Instagram account at obscura.adina.
Okay.
Obscura, OBSCURA. She's a great photographer. I think she's been into this for 3 or 4 years now. So she's developed such amazing like Photoshop skills. I asked her to get rid of all my stretch marks and my skin tones and my double chin. Like, I need that to be gone. So she's been really amazing at that. And yeah, so reach out to her via Instagram. She's a great girl.
First off, I thought you were about to misspell obscura, in which case I would have made fun of the CU education that you were about to finish. But you nailed it. I don't know how you did it.
I'm getting my degree.
Yes, you can read and write. You got me beat. But the second question I wanted to say was, so shout out to the Obscura team and Adina. Thank you for taking care of our boy. I'm probably going to need a little help after quarantine. I've picked up a chin or two extra. But
you look great now, so.
Stop it. Don't make me blush. I've been hanging out at the park a lot, eating a lot of mushrooms. All right, so here's the next question for you. It's called Guilty Pleasures. Let's say
Oh,
that you had a late night, whether it be studying or drinking with the crew. Maybe you were watching Sex in the City, and you got a little drunk or a little high, whatever it may be, and you come home. You're about to eat your snack and then pass out. What do you go to? What's the go-to guilty pleasure snack in the pantry or the fridge, freezer? What are you going with?
okay. Blackberries, but they have to be hard and sour.
So frozen, or do you just mean like
No, they're fresh, but they have to be sour.
What's the indicator? Are you walking through the grocery store just eating one fucking blackberry from a basket?
No. I buy it by chance, but if they're sweet, I give it to my friends or family.
So you just grab like a bushel out of the fridge and just pile them down?
It's the best thing ever. That with a side of chocolate mousse.
Homemade or bought?
Bought. I'm not going to make chocolate mousse.
I wasn't sure you live in a house with chefs. Or can
yeah. No, just bought D-Bar chocolate mousse. My God.
Dude, Uptown, it hits.
Yeah, and then this is probably the most embarrassing guilty pleasure of mine.
I don't know, man. If you listen to all 200 episodes or whatever we've done, you'll find some fucking hilarious ones. Yeah. What do you have in mind?
If I'm in the mood for this, I would kill for it. A Diet Coke.
All right. Wait, well, elaborate.
But it has to be, listen, this is the thing. It has to be a canned Diet Coke. It cannot be bottled because it's completely different. I cannot tell you why I think this.
It doesn't keep as cold, I swear.
Yes.
I drink Gatorade the same way. I buy canned Gatorade because bottled Gatorade sucks ass.
Yeah, so blackberries, chocolate mousse, and Diet Coke. That's how you can slide into my DMs. I would love that stuff.
That's not a bad one. That's not a lot of ridicule. And it sounds like if you have all those things, in the fridge or in the, pantry, I guess you keep everything in the fridge in that one, freezer, then that's not a bad one. That's not the weirdest one we've heard. We've heard some really weird
ones. And then if you're really drunk, this is if you're really drunk or high. And honestly, I recommend this to you. Hot Cheetos. And you dip them into cream cheese.
I can get behind that.
It's insane. The pleasure you get from dipping that hot Cheeto into cream cheese is wild.
I could get behind that. That's not a bad one. I thought you were going to. I thought you were going to say like throw a bunch of shit into the bag with the hot Cheetos, which I wouldn't hate either. I'm not necessarily a Cheetos guy because they get all over your fingers and but if you're going to go like the Frito nacho bag, but do it with a hot Cheeto, I thought that's the route you were going to go.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll try the cream cheese. That doesn't sound bad at all.
You won't regret it.
Dude, well, thank you for the tips and for the happy hour insight and for insight for, stops in Boulder. David, I appreciate you taking the time to join us this afternoon. Let's say before we leave, one more time, your dad's restaurant, your favorite restaurant, and how folks can find you online, and if they want to reach out, how they would best do that.
Yeah, so Dad's restaurant is National Restaurant.
Okay. On Leetsdale, down kind of it's just south of Glendale, right before you get to Parker kind of area.
Yeah. It's closed now because it normally only operates Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because that's like the biggest nights. Mm-hmm. So after all these quarantines pass, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then favorite restaurant, I think let's do a takeout because I love takeout. Yeah,
let's do one that you're going to get this week. What's one of your favorite quarantine takeouts you've got?
Taste of China on Federal.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I love that place. The guys are so nice there. Truly amazing. But if it's like a nicer, if you want something nicer, I would say Machete's tacos.
Okay.
Mostly for the lobster, for the langosta taco. It is absolutely heavenly. I get like 3 of those and chow them down very quickly. So,
do you like that place more than Rockin' Lobster or like getting your stuff from Machete more than getting it from Rockin' Lobster or getting it from like Main Shack and shit like that?
So I love Main Shack for the sandwiches. Like they're so good.
Yeah.